Salt 98.7. My name is Harms. I'm here with a guy who I know loves to travel. I know loves his dogs, and music's in there, kind of some
Yeah.
there as well. It's Dennis Lloyd.
What's up?
Thanks for being here, dude.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you give me an order on those? Because you're very, very passionate about all three: dogs, traveling, music.
I think it's dogs, music, and traveling.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. I see the dogs
Yeah.
on the ink right there. Is that your newest ink? Is that
yeah,
fresh
yeah.
ink?
Just made it like this Monday.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Dude, it looks great. It's not scabbing over or anything like that. It looks wonderful.
Thanks.
Let's get a little bit of background on you. It's funny because this song that we've been playing, Nevermind, has had legs and has been going for a long, long time. But we are still, in a lot of ways, introducing it to a lot of people and introducing you to a lot of people. So correct me if any of this is wrong. You have been playing music for a long time. You went to kind of a fancy music school. Is that correct?
I wouldn't say fancy, but yeah.
When I read about it, it seemed fancier than any school that I went
It's
to.
an art school. Yeah.
When did you start kind of really deciding that music was going to be something you were going to pursue as the thing?
Well, it all started like when I was 8 years old, and I started playing the trumpet. 5 years later, I bought like my first USB microphone, and I stole a guitar from my sister, and I started playing, writing songs. And then just like starting producing myself, recording my songs. Years later, like when I was 18, I joined the Navy, the Israeli Navy, for 3 years. And then I said like I'm gonna take like a break with music, like just like not the same intensity that I had as in my whole life. And I just said like after the Navy, after the service, 3 years, if I still want to make music, that's the only thing that I'm gonna do in my life. Like no plan Bs, no universities, no SITs, nothing, just this.
It is. I mean, that's something a lot of people aspire to do. People would love to make music in that way. At some point, you had to realize that this was happening, and you were going to be able to make a living, make a music. Do you remember what that point was?
Yeah, actually, yeah. It was like January 2017, I think.
Wow. Yeah, to the month.
Yeah, I remember because I just moved to a shitty apartment. And I had no money at all. I moved with my ex, and I just went like to look for a job in a falafel place. And I felt like I was really depressed. I had like many songs that I wrote in Bangkok. And then just the offers started to come like after Nevermind, and I was like, okay, it's happening. Yeah.
Let's get into a little bit of that because there's a lot there. You got out of the Navy, which, first of all, I didn't know. I guess I should have assumed because that is a way of life in Israel from the standpoint of everybody is required to do a military service for a little bit of time. And so you took an entire break. Like there was no music whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, like I played the guitar still, but like not the same.
Yeah, nothing serious. And so coming out of the Navy, then you decided, yes, this is something I'm going to go for. You produced some music. And as I understand it, Nevermind was made. Nevermind was out there, and you didn't really know that it started to go until people started to really kind of get in touch and say, dude, I don't know if you've seen these stream numbers, but this thing's insane.
Yeah.
What was it like to get those phone calls, first of all?
It was,
and
it
did you
was
have any
weird.
idea? Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, because Spotify wasn't available in Israel. So I just saw like what's going on YouTube, and it has like, I don't know, like 30,000 views or something like that. It was good for me. I was really happy. But then like all these phone calls started to come, and then I was like, how did you find me, Yeah. And they said like, man, you got to open Spotify. You're all over there. And I was like, what is Spotify? So I opened Spotify, and then I saw like Nevermind in the top 50 viral charts, top 50 global charts, like back then in 2016 when I just released it, before anything started to happen. Just a beautiful editor in Spotify Germany put it like in the biggest playlist, and then everything like started to happen like organically.
It's kind of the dream, man. It's kind of like you make your stuff on your own, and then for whatever reason, it connects on this mass level. What does being a Nirvana fan have to do with Nevermind? Because there is a connection there.
For sure. Like Kurt Cobain is my biggest idol, I had a poster hang like over my bed when I was like 12. And Nevermind is my favorite album, like all-time favorite. And I wrote Nevermind, and I decided to call it Nevermind as a tribute for my just to be there. When you look for Nevermind on YouTube or Spotify, you will see us both.
It's nice, man. Yeah, that's good. Have you been able to go up to Seattle? Have you been up there?
Yeah, actually, I went to Aberdeen.
Okay.
Like he's hometown, you know.
I've been to Aberdeen, man. It's not
Yeah.
fancy.
It's not fancy, but it was like fucking emotion. Sorry, it was really emotional, really. For me, like to get to Seattle, to get to Aberdeen, just because of my music, not because I decided to have a trip like after Kurt Cobain or something like that. Just like because of my music, and it was amazing.
You seem like a guy that obviously this thing with Nevermind has been a big deal and has been a big part of your life, but has prioritized other things as well. And you're a big believer in going out there and living your life and not just doing. For him, this is work, doing work stuff like that. As this song has been growing and growing and growing, and as more and more people have heard it, have you been able to do that? Live your life, go out and do stuff other than this.
For sure.
And how? What have you been up to?
I mean, I go travel. I have my dogs. Like we go to the beach. I have my regular life. It's all about being your own boss. You know, being independent.
Well, and that's another thing is you've produced all of this music, and at least at one point you were kind of managing all of this as well. Has it gotten too big for you to do all of that? Or have you gotten
like
some help?
all the accounting and stuff like that. Like in a moment, I said like, no, I can't handle
Good
it
man.
anymore.
Yeah. Give that job to somebody else.
Yeah, but I think that like it's very important to know as a business to know all the aspects of your business, like the financial part and also the creative, and then when you hire people, you can check and know like if the job is like doing well, you know.
That's smart. That's smart. Rumor has it you do a mean Britney Spears cover.
Yeah.
When did you start doing that?
I think like last year, like in my shows.
What was the reaction at first?
People were like, it was like, what? It's funny. Like every show, it's funny because like you see the girls are like, woo, Britney, oh my god, and like the guys are like, oh, why is he singing Britney? This motherfucker is like, what the fuck are you doing, man? And then like when the chorus hits, you know, like they're all singing. Everyone is like screaming Britney, man.
Yeah, man. It's like being at a wedding. It's some people like want to stay in the back and they're like, no, I don't like this song. And by the end of the song, dude, everybody's in it. I got the feeling, reading just a little bit about your experience at that art school, that you felt a little bit separate from the other students there in your musical tastes and your musical style. Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, can you explain that a little bit more? Like, what were the art kids into, and what were you into?
Yeah, I mean, just like to explain the difference. Like when I came to my first like jazz history class, like the teacher was asking like, "What's your favorite bands?" Like, and people say like Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, Miles Davis, and I was like Nirvana, Linkin Park, and they were like, "Who's this guy?" You know. Same thing with my music. You know, like my main thing there was my trumpet. And I started singing, and some people supported it, like my friends, close friends, but many people were like, man, you sound horrible, like your voice is not good. And actually, when I listen to my recordings, all recordings like from this time, I can hear like that my voice was closed. I was like really, really insecure. Yeah, and...
Well, I was just going to ask, do you feel like you got the last laugh at this point with the success of Nevermind?
Well, look at us now.
Yeah, I know. You're a big shot. You're on the internet here in L.A. You're on the radio here in L.A. And those other guys are doing something. You guys are doing something.
Yeah.
Awesome. What's the plan from here, man? How much more music do you have coming?
Ooh.
Can you talk about that even?
Yeah,
at
I can
all?
talk about it. Like when I was in Bangkok, I recorded over 30 songs. I think I had like 35 when I went back, and I still keep writing and recording. I'm gonna drop my next single, "Never Go Back," like really, really soon. It's gonna be smash, man. Really.
It's gonna be exciting for you, man.
Yeah.
Again, like we kind of talked about a little bit earlier, Nevermind is awesome, but Nevermind, as far as you're concerned, has been around for a long time, and it's been going for a long time, and it's nice that it continues to grow. But I imagine as an artist, it'd be nice to kind of get some other stuff out there.
Sure.
Yeah, and do all that. How about live? How much live stuff are you doing?
Actually, we just finished the tour like months ago.
Did it go well? How was it?
Yeah. Oh my God, it was a sold-out tour across the world. My first headline tour ever. We've been to Europe and North America. It was just incredible because like you can tell like when you're in the shows that people are not there for Nevermind. Nevermind is just like it's a good song in the set, but like it's not the main stuff. And people relate and people like know every lyric for every single song, and you're like, wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you ever wonder how that happened? How you just kind of went from going on a trip to Bangkok and making music there and coming back to now being rooms full of people around the world, and they know these words that you've written, and they're kind of giving you an energy back that you were hoping to give to them. You ever wonder how that happened?
I think it's just like being honest, you know, and being simple. Like I'm not different than anyone else. Like I'm just singing and I'm just writing like my feelings and I compose them.
Well, I would say you're a little different than everybody else in that you are incredibly artistic. You're incredibly talented, very
Thank
well
you, man.
traveled and
Thank
well
you.
spoken. Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
And it's been awesome having your world get introduced into ours over the last couple of months. And we're excited for more and more and more.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely. No problem. It's Dennis Lloyd and his Alt 98.7. He's a good guy. I like his tattoos. He's got good tattoos.